All right, everybody, I think I've nailed it. I love desks. I love getting new desks. I hate the wiring process, kind of like polishing a car, but I've got my desk set up. I feel like, thanks to Joe Pichette for turning me on to this ridiculous looking chair, but holy cow, this chair is amazing. This is a stressless magic. I might as well just tell you, I think it's $3,800 or something for this chair. I will have this chair for the rest of my life, I think. We'll see. Somebody will have it for the rest of their life. It might not be me. But this is the, I forget which version of black leather. The leather is amazing. This is what they call their teak finish, so it kind of matches my walnut BDI desk. But today's video, I want to talk about the computer, the AV, and how I'm going to use this. And I think I've gotten it pretty well nailed now. There's a couple little things that I would like, and I'm going to try to talk BlueSound into fixing on the Node icon. But this is my current and best desk setup that I've ever done. So let's kind of work through each individual component and kind of talk to you about how I set this up. If you want to see the wiring and how I wired it up and the BDI desk, I made a BDI specific video where I showed you how this all goes together. This is a BDI Sequel 20 with the return, a BDI filing cabinet that matches, and then this is the matching Linea shelving system, all with wire chases and everything you need to know. So go check out that video. So my setup, the desk comes with a drawer for your mouse and keyboard. I don't like that. I like my keyboard on the desk. I bought the Keychrons and the custom, was it One Ducky or whatever I bought. Ryan talked me into buying some hipster keyboards, the mechanical keyboards. I just don't like them. I like the flat, I'm an old man I guess, the flat Apple keyboard. I've just been conditioned to it. I like the Apple mouse, even though it's stupid that they have the freaking charging port underneath it where you can't charge it or can't plug it in while in use. But I like the style of this with the little touchpad, everything works with my Mac ecosystem, and so I do the black and gray version, kind of matches the theme here. They also make it in white, and I like the number pad because I'm using Excel a lot, and so I like to have the full size keyboard with the number pad so that I can do that as well. So then the whole system is powered by the new M4 Mac, and so my spec, M4 Mac Mini. The spec is, I generally load it up. So it's the 64 gigabyte version. I did a 2 terabyte drive on it. I don't like to do external drives, even though the Mac solid state drives in there are really, really expensive. I normally do 4 terabyte, like my MacBook Pro is the 4 terabyte version. I found that I'm only using at most 3/4 of a terabyte, and so I backed off a little bit and saved myself $1,000. But I think this was right at $3,000, so I did the full spec, loaded up with everything but the 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, because I don't have that in this house. I'm running this Wi-Fi anyway, and so M4 Mac Pro. There is no M4 Max on the Mac Mini, but this is brand new, just came out, and I just got it a few days ago, and it's fantastic. So that's what's powering the display. This is the Pro XDR display with the nano texture glass. I would probably rather have the glossy version. I bought the nano texture. I've had this monitor for 5 years now, something like that. And so I bought a cheaper 27-inch for my office, my little temporary office at HQ, because I use this more than that. And so I didn't want to buy another one of these monitors. That's what, $1,000 for the mount. And I was looking to buy one used. They sell for like 10% off used. So it really holds its value. I like this monitor a lot, and so this is the monitor that I'm using. And so I'm connected M4 Mac via Thunderbolt 4 to the Pro XDR display, and so I did some wiring and zip tying and all that stuff. This is not a standing desk, and so I tied all the wires nice and tightly so we can't see them. So I'm not moving the monitor up and down. It's going to stay in this position. My eyes are right smack in the middle, so I've got a pretty perfect setup here for me. And I have this set up, I guess, sort of centered between here and the return. And so from here, I have a node icon. So the node icon is the first BlueSound node to have a USB-C connection. Now, one problem, if I'm going to listen or play something, one problem with it is that the volume here shows that it's going up and down, but the Mac will not control volume. And so I tried to go to fixed output, but the fixed doesn't allow me to control volume either. I think it's a simple software update, so I'm going to try to talk them into hook the darn thing up to a Mac and make it so that my Mac, when I see the device, make it so that I can control the volume all from here. If I set this to fixed volume, I can, so if I'm watching YouTube or if I'm using the Tidal or something like that, I can control the volume, not from here, not the Mac's main volume, but I can control the volume via USB-C for the slider on YouTube or the slider on Tidal or the slider on Shopify. I don't want that though, because it does, you have a real probability of blowing up your speakers if you don't do it right. And so the way that I have volume set up, if you look at the device, so here's the BlueSound node icon, and so I control my volume here. So this is my DAC, my digital analog converter, and I have it set up to where I'm controlling volume right on the device. And so USB-C out of the Mac into the Pro XDR display. I could daisy chain, but I went right from Thunderbolt or USB-C into the node icon, and the node icon becomes my digital analog converter to power my studio monitor speakers. So the speakers are giant. I get it. They don't look as big in person as they probably do on camera. It's really, really sick. These are designed for recording studios. They're designed to be listened to within 2 feet. So they're a near field monitor. Notice the tweeter's flat. There's no curve or anything. And so these are designed to be listening right in your face. And then I'm getting a dead nuts center image right on the screen, which is amazing. And so this doesn't have an amplifier. These have an amplifier. So these have Pascal, Class D, separate channels of amplification. It's 500 watts to the woofer, 250 watts to the tweeter, and it's super clean, Pascal Class D amplification. What I'm hoping to convince BlueSound to do is if they can make the node, not the node icon, but if they can make the node also capable of USB-C input someday, then that could be a really awesome $500 option for interface to connect to my computer. The other nice thing is this is on my BlueSound network, and so I can also stream from my phone as well if I wanted to, right to my node and my fancy speakers. I don't see why I would do that. I would just use the web browser for Tidal. So you see this here, max quality. So we're at 24-bit, 192 kilohertz is our maximum quality capability. And so this file here is a 24-bit 48 kilohertz FLAC file. So a super high res, much higher quality than CD quality that I'm able to stream right from Tidal. So that's how I generally listen to music, as I'm on my Tidal account, streaming through from the Mac to the node icon into the speakers via XLR, and I've got some super high res option or quality. The other thing I could do again is I could go to my BlueOS app, so BlueOS, and I could listen to, this is a 1644 file, but on my players, here's my desk node icon, and then I can play Tidal, whatever music I want. And I could override, my computer. I did set up a couple of quick keys. So up here are quick input options. So notice it says Mac Mini on here. So I was able to go into the node icon and tell it that USB-C, rename it to Mac Mini. And then oftentimes if I override it with BlueOS, it gets kind of clunky. And so I set up a quick key to take me back to Mac Mini. And take me back to that input specifically. But most of the time, I have it on auto standby. So as soon as I turn my Mac on, I'm able to play music through my speakers. So there's no glitches. Everything sort of works there. I don't have to unplug and plug things back in like it had to do with the Universal Audio all the time. So then the speakers. So these are Core 5s. on a isoacoustics. This is their standard size, the isoacoustic stands in black. I have them set to 4 degrees up, so it's kind of right at my ear level. Near field speakers, you want to set up in a triangle as much as possible, and so I sat there with toe in and toe out to get my nice dialed in center image, and I've got a frickin' audio experience like you wouldn't believe. The only thing I'm going to do, I think, this would be ridiculous, but I have the Core subcompact here. I think I'm going to put another Core subcompact on the other side just because it feels a little left heavy. I would get quite a bit more balance. I don't need more bass. I just need a little bit more balance. So I'm going to get another Core subcompact and put it over there. I'll just Y-adapt and run it as a single sub, run Dirac. And this won't have Dirac bass correction. I think it'll just be, basic Dirac Live. And so I'll be able to kind of calibrate and set this up and have a really amazing audio experience. So above me, to help with the audio, I've got GIK acoustics. These are 242 bass traps. And so I've got, this is in like the Gilmore finish or fancier finish. I had these in the podcast studio. And then behind me, I've got that is also a 242 bass trap. That's my GT3 RS in the old wash bay. And so that is called an art wall. I want to say that was $600 or $700 to have that made. I had that made for the podcast studio a number of years ago. And so it fit perfectly here. And I don't know if you can notice, but just doing those 6 acoustic treatments, this room really has, it was an echo chamber. Carpet, a rug, and then the acoustic treatments, and it's really, really comfy, really great here. So that's the audio setup, and then I have my MacBook Pro here. I just ran just so I can plug it in. I really don't use my MacBook Pro up here very often, but I wanted a place where I could just plug it in and charge it. And so most of the time I'll just kind of have it closed, just sitting here, charging, and then I come and grab it when I need to. But if there's something on my MacBook, I don't have it connected to the display, but if there was something on the MacBook that I needed, like I was going over the invoice cost of this this desk when I was doing a video earlier, I may have something on the MacBook that I don't have on my Mac M4. But almost everything I have, I don't have anything on the hard drives other than maybe a single video, which I upload as soon as I'm done with it to Google Drive. But I have Google Drive file share set up on all of my computers. So any file that I need, so all the videos are here, all of my documents are here, all the OG docs and everything is shared with the team at OG. And so I don't keep anything on my laptop. This takes me like an hour to set up. I like to have all of my doc identical. And so I set up my doc identical. I set up all of my settings identical. Whenever I get a new Mac, I have a procedure that I go through and just get everything dialed in specifically so everything matches. I use Google Chrome, and so Chrome has all of my saved whatever quick bookmarks as well. So everything's set up there. So one of the problems with doing a bigger, taller monitor is when you Logitech has a magnetic, like perfectly mounted and microphoned webcam, but it looks like crap and it's up too high. And so when I'm sitting here talking to people, it looks like I'm looking down at the ground. And so I came up with this idea. So this is the Rode DS2 stand. And so what I'll do, this is how I'll set up for a call. And most of the time I just leave this set up if I'm doing a podcast or doing something specific. So this is just the Apple USB-C cable. And so I'll take and plug this in. So this is the Rode PodMic. And so I'll just plug this in directly right here. I already have my camera plugged in. And so what I'll do, this is my iPhone 15 set up as continuity cam. So I'll take this, turn it. This is the same stand. I just took this center section out. And so this is the Rode DS2 stand, Rode webcam or Rode camera mount. And it's obviously connected hooked up via MagSafe. And then when I set up here, is I kind of take my camera and I tuck it in position like so. Now you're thinking, well, the camera's in the middle of the screen. Well, I have a large screen. So what I'll do, because it's a 32-inch screen, I don't need it to be this big anyway. So there's my Rode PodMic. That's my microphone. So much, much higher quality camera than any webcam you're ever going to get. What I'm going to do next, because it's operating in sort of low light mode, but what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put some light, more cans on a separate dimmer here. And so I set up my microphone where I don't have to keep it in frame, like I don't have to sit here like this. And so I can actually take the microphone, I'll set it up like so, I can still reach my keyboard. And then when I'm looking, when I have a Zoom meeting, I'll just keep it, right next to my camera, and then it looks like I'm looking right at the display. I've got a nice backdrop. If I want to, this is sort of interesting, if I want to tighten up the backdrop, I just go to vertical mode, and then I kind of tighten up how tight the camera is, how tight I am on camera. But this, I think, is the best setup where I can sit here and have a meeting, and I'll generally bring this in so where it looks like I'm looking, and I'm looking right at the camera. But I'll usually keep it in wide mode, like so, and do it like this. So when you have a bigger monitor, it just gets kind of weird when you have it up tall. It doesn't really work very well. And then if I don't need to be like looking directly at the camera, what I can do is kind of move it to the side and just kind of hang out and move around. And if I'm doing something critical, I'll use this mic. If I'm not, then I'll just use the regular mic on the iPhone. So bring this back over here. So I can just use the iPhone 15 microphone as well, which is actually a pretty decent mic. So it gives me different options. But this is the best setup. And so when I'm done, I take my camera, I take it off, exit my meeting, I pull my wire back through, and then I can leave my phone right here if I want to. Although my iPhone 16, I like having a separate phone, so I can still, mess around when I'm not paying attention, in a meeting. The other thing you could do actually though, is I could just iPhone mirror, and just mirror on my screen. So I can connect to my iPhone on screen. It's pretty sick. It's a pretty cool setup. So I've got my webcam iPhone separate. I got my iPhone 16, which I can put on screen as well. Obviously, I have the ability to do iMessage and FaceTime and all that stuff as well, right on screen. I've been using ChatGPT a lot as well for especially like Friday reports and things to help me correct grammar. So I've been talking to text on Notes, Apple Notes. So I'll talk to text and I'll import it back in ChatGPT, have it fix grammar. It's way better than Apple AI. And I've got a pretty sick functioning setup. Great audio, great video. I got my phones, I got everything I need. I've got, instead of doing some fancy, universal audio and doing some fancy, microphone, this just USB-C, so much simpler, so much easier. And again, I have the option to use the onboard mic if I want to, if it's not a critical meeting, something really fast. But I bring this, put it right in the center of the screen. I bring my stuff and kind of keep it out of the way where I'm looking right at the camera, no matter what. And I've got a high quality image. The only thing I can improve is to, again, get a little better lighting in here because it's a little dark on this side of the room. So once I do that, I'll be rolling. So when I'm done, I'll just roll up. I found that you don't want to take the cable out of the microphone because this mic has a pretty delicate connection. I actually broke one of them. And so I leave it plugged into the mic, take this guy, tuck it over here. I can choose to keep this out if I want, or just push it back out of the way. And I'm back to no meeting. I think this is pretty sick. I've been working on pens as well. I didn't show you this. This is pretty cool. So I've been working on pens. This is my current favorite pen. So this is a Uniball Signo DX in 0.38 is the size. And my favorite pencil right now is a Uni Kuro Toga, a 0.5. Once you go below 0.5 on the lead, it gets a little too fine and I tend to break it. And then my favorite sort of non-fountain, but whatever you call these, rollerball type, is the Precision V5. And this is the 0.5 extra fine version. So these are my current favorite pens, but I really like this. They do it in a .28 and a .38, depending on what I'm writing. And then this is my favorite paper, Duane. So depending on what I'm writing, so the .28 gets a little fine, but I like to write small. So this is the .38. Both are really good. I think .38 is my jam though. And so they make these in all different colors, and I'm gonna order a bunch of them. But I ordered 22 different pens, and this is what I came up with. And these are cheap, cheap pens. And then what I may do is get like a fancy titanium pen and just take this insert, take the, whatever you call this, the cartridge, and put it into a fancy pen as well. And then I like this pen too. This is a Pilot, these are all made in Japan, Pilot Juice Up. So if you're looking for a, like a regular click style, this one is pretty sweet too. This is an interesting color. They have a lot of interesting colors, but this is a .5. I like .5 as my favorite size. Or actually no, this is a .4. So .38 I think is my favorite size pen. And so I have these here. I also have this, which you may want. So if you wanted to continuity cam your MacBook, you can buy this thing from Belkin. You don't need to plug in your phone to your computer if you don't need to. I just like to plug it in, that way I never have to worry about batteries. Check out how sweet that is. So I can continuity cam, and actually what you would do is bring it to the center. So your camera's right in the center like this. And then I can continuity cam as well. So you can do it either wirelessly or wired. And so I have this in here just in case I just want to quick grab my laptop and do it that way. So I've got this guy from Belkin. They do make one for a monitor as well, which I bought. So this is the monitor version of the same thing. So you could, put your camera up here and mount it like so. So they do make a monitor version from Belkin too. So I keep this one in the drawer because sometimes I use this. This is Hafele drawer organization. And then I've got two pairs of scissors you might care about. Everybody always sees my Chris Reeve Sabenza here. So I got that in here. ARS, Japanese. These are they're heavy duty Kevlar shears, which are amazing. I won't tell you how much these are. And then these are quite a bit more practical. Somebody turned me on to these. These are made in the UK, Sheffield, or made in Sheffield, England, from Wright, Ernest Wright scissors. I bought like 3 or 4, so I forget which version of the scissors these are. But I have one set at HQ and one set here. They're pretty sick. You order them and you wait like 4 months and they ship them to you. So this is my best setup yet. I love this. So I got great audio, great video. The next step for this room, which, oh, by the way, I've got my battery charger here. I've got my PC. I actually have a PC, believe it or not. So I have PCs there. And so I like the Eneloop Pros from, are these Panasonic? Yeah, Panasonic Eneloop Pro. So I like to have these for batteries in case I need them. And then what my plan is to, when Chase comes up here and hangs out with me, by the way, come on, buddy. You don't want to miss out, do you? Come on over here. Good job. He sits at my feet, keeps my feet warm. And so the plan for this room, I've always wanted to have an office theater. So the office part is dialed. The next step is, and the reason why I have this facing this way, these chairs and couch and all that stuff will go. I'm doing the 97-inch OLED on the wall there, and I'm going to do a full JTR system as well. And I'm actually going to do an L-shaped couch, and this will be my theater. I'm going to do the couch about the same height as these. So when I'm sitting here, I can have a movie going. I've got all the AV I need on screen, and then I want to go lay down and watch. This is like my little sanctuary. So even though this room isn't ideal with the trapezoidal style, it's pretty sweet. I'm liking how this is turning out. So my simplification Middleton life is actually doing okay. I've got a pretty awesome desk setup. This is, level up from what I had a really nice desk setup at my other house. But I've got a place for my Heartland memorabilia and my Sensport helmet and other tchotchkes, and we're looking good. I even put my diploma on the wall for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, I'm digging this setup. So if you're interested in the AV, I'm happy to help. Just shoot me an email, matt@obsessedgarage.com. I can help you figure out, send you the list of all the different things here. I'd love to sell you some speakers. This Dynaudio setup is like $6,000, $7,000. I know that's not practical, but I have different levels to this, and I can kind of share with you what you might want for the desk. We'll be building desk setups. I'm working to become a BDI dealer as well. I think that I've gotten approval to become a local dealer, so we're going to do local delivery and install for the design studio. But I'd like to become a national dealer as well long term, so I can ship these out to you and build you systems. But if you're interested in the audio, we can do something very similar to this for 1/3 or 1/4 the cost by doing LID and doing a little bit more basic setup. But I can get you all the wires and stands and everything you need to make this work and make it function really well. But I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. It feels comfortable. The other thing that's important to me is, like, we came up here to shoot a video. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to clean anything up. I don't have to move anything. Everything just is in the right place. Got my Simple Human garbage can, which matches the black finish on my desk. And I'm feeling pretty good about this. I've got some room underneath here for my extra keys and anything I might need. And so I've got some space. I've got my files over there in the filing cabinet. Oh, it's looking pretty sweet. So hit me up if I can help. I mentioned the GIK acoustic panels, acoustic treatments. This desk is awesome. More to come on it as I figure things out. I'm hoping to talk to BlueSound after the first of the year, see if I can convince them to make this thing perfect for the desk. That's the last thing we need, and then we're rolling. And then again, if we can have them make a less expensive version of this, that'd also be great too. Because I think we can kind of take over the desk setup game. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.